So what if I told you there's a book out there, more than 600 years old, that's filled with these incredibly detailed drawings of plants that don't exist, star charts that make no sense, and all of it next to this beautiful, flowing script that nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody on the planet can read? Well, that's no what if. That is the Voynich Manuscript. It is the ultimate puzzle. Today, we are diving into a mystery that has defeated some of the smartest people in history. We're talking top-tier World War II codebreakers, brilliant linguists, even modern-day AI. They've all taken a crack at it, and they've all failed. You see, this isn't just an old book. It's a window into a world we can't understand, locked behind a language that has fought off every single attempt to decipher it. All right, so since the text is pretty much an unbreakable wall for now, our only way in is through the drawings. And trust me, they are just as bizarre as the writing. These illustrations are our first and maybe our only real clues to figuring out what on earth this manuscript is all about. To make sense of it all, scholars have kind of broken the book down into different sections based on the art. The biggest chunk, about half the book, is what they call the herbal section. Page after page, you see these detailed drawings of plants. But here's the thing. Most of them are completely alien. Botanists have looked at them for years and have basically concluded these plants don't exist in nature. Okay, so next we go from the Earth up to the stars. And in this part of the manuscript, you'll see things you actually recognize. You can spot zodiac signs like Pisces and Taurus pretty easily, but right alongside them are these strange circular diagrams and star maps that just don't match up with any cosmology we know of from any culture. It's familiar and yet totally alien at the same time. And then we get to the weirdest part of the whole book. This is the section it's most famous for. It's full of these drawings of small, nude women, and they're all bathing together in these incredibly elaborate, interconnected tubs and pipes, and all the pipes are filled with this strange green liquid. What are we even looking at here? Is it some sort of forgotten ritual? A textbook on ancient medicine? Honestly, your guess is as good as anyone's. So after seeing all that, the crazy plants, the weird star charts, the green goo baths, you have to ask the obvious question. Is this thing even real, or is it just some incredibly elaborate fake designed to fool people? And for a really long time, that was a huge debate. But then, in 2009, science finally gave us a solid answer. Researchers were able to do radiocarbon dating on the vellum pages, and the results were conclusive. The parchment was made sometime between 1404 and 1438, so this is no modern hoax. Whatever this thing is, it is a genuine artifact from the early 15th century. The book's known history is just as fascinating. It sort of pops into existence around the year 1600 in Prague in the hands of the Holy Roman Emperor Rudolf II, a guy famously obsessed with alchemy and the occult. After that, it gets passed around a bit, and then it just vanishes. For over 200 years, nobody knows where it is. Then, in 1912, a rare book dealer named Wilfred Voynich finds it, giving the book its name. Eventually, it makes its way to Yale University, where it sits today, taunting researchers. All right, so we've talked about the drawings and the history. Now let's get to the real heart of the enigma, the language itself. Scholars have nicknamed this unique script Voynichese, and frankly, it's a complete paradox. It's what has kept this mystery alive for so long. And here's the contradiction that drives cryptographers completely insane. On the one hand, Voynichese acts like a real language. It follows certain statistical rules that almost all human languages follow. For example, some words are really common and others are rare, which is normal. But on the other hand, it has these bizarre features that you just don't see in natural languages. The structure is strangely repetitive, and certain characters only ever seem to appear at the start of a word, while others only appear at the end. It looks real, but it feels artificial. And if you want to know just how tough this thing is to crack, let me tell you about William Friedman. This wasn't just some hobbyist. This was the legendary American codebreaker who led the team that broke Japan's purple cipher in World War II, a huge breakthrough that helped win the war. He dedicated 40 years of his life, on and off, trying to solve the Voynich Manuscript. And in the end, nothing. It completely stumped him. So you might be thinking, okay, but that was then. What about now? What happens when we throw our most powerful AI at it? Well, people have tried. And you'll see these flashy headlines pop up every few years claiming that AI has finally cracked the code. But when you talk to the actual academic experts, they're not convinced. The AI can find patterns, sure, but all it's ever managed to produce is a few potential words floating in a sea of complete gibberish. We are still no closer to a real translation. So, where does that leave us? We've got a genuine medieval book. The text seems to have some kind of structure, but it's completely unreadable. So, what is it? Let's walk through the four biggest theories people have come up with. Okay, so theory number one, it's a cipher. It's really a known language, like Latin or maybe even an early form of German, but it's hidden behind a super complex code to protect its secrets. Theory two, it's a lost language. This could be the very last written record of a language that was spoken somewhere in the world and has since gone completely extinct. Theory three, it's a constructed language. Somebody actually invented this language from scratch, like Tolkien's Elvish, with its own unique rules, and we just don't have the key. And finally, theory four, it's just a hoax. A brilliantly made, meaningless object created back in the 15th century just to trick some rich duke into paying a fortune for it. So what is the Voynich Manuscript? After all this time, after all this intense study by the world's best minds, it is still one of the greatest unsolved mysteries we have. Is this book a guide to forgotten medieval knowledge? The last voice of a lost civilization? Or is it just maybe the most beautiful and successful prank ever pulled in human history? For now, we just don't know. Its secrets are still locked inside, waiting for someone, somewhere, to finally find the key.